The window of opportunity for buyers to be in control to buy a home is rapidly closing here in San Diego. Find out what this means if you're planning to buy or sell a home. Hey everyone, we're starting to see sellers start to take back control of the housing market here in San Diego, even as home prices slid for single family homes, but rose for condos and townhomes. Now, homes available for sale or inventory levels have started to rise, as well as pending sales as the market begins to pick up steam despite fairly high interest rates, and we're diving into exactly why this is happening. We're starting to see the return of multiple offers and bidding wars on homes, although not quite to the same levels as we saw from mid-2020 through half of 2022, and inflation continues to fall, keeping mortgage rates steady. In fact, mortgage rates have actually fallen from their highs of over 7% 3 months ago and have remained within a 0.5% range since. Homebuyers are starting to realize that this is the new normal, and the pent-up demand that was still lingering from the pandemic buying spree is starting to get unleashed again. I've been saying that there has been a window of opportunity to buy a home here in San Diego up through spring, and that window is starting to close quickly. So if you're planning to sell a home, at the end of the video, I'm covering exactly what you need to do to get your home sold in today's real estate market. And real quick, my name is Curtis Chism with the Chism Team, brokered by eXp Realty. And if you're looking to make a move, just give me a call, text, or email, and let's chat. All right, let's take a real quick look at exactly what is happening nationally that is driving the San Diego housing market here locally. First off, inflation fell again this past month to 6.5%. That's down 1.5% in the past 3 months. This is helping to keep mortgage rates stay steady, which really are tied to inflation. Mortgage rates have remained in the low 6% range for the past 3 months, thanks to easing inflation concerns. Now, if inflation holds steady or continues to drop over the coming months, expect mortgage rates to remain steady or fall accordingly. The fears of interest rates hitting 8 to 10% seem to be well behind us, but if mortgage rates do fall or even remain steady, this may unleash the pent-up demand that has been lingering in the housing market and drive us back into a seller's market come spring or the summer selling season. Now, a big reason for this pent-up demand is coming from millennials. As a group, millennials delayed getting married, starting families, and as a result, they're home buying. But now they're getting married, having babies, and realizing that they need to buy a home or move up into a bigger home. Now, these millennials are out shopping for homes, creating this pent-up demand. But here's the problem. Many sellers are essentially locked into their homes because so many either purchased or refinanced into 3% interest rates over the past couple of years, so they would be signing up for a 6% interest rate and higher monthly payments than what they're paying now. This is causing inventory levels to remain flat or even decline further. And the confluence of these two events, more millennial buyers and fewer people selling, is creating home prices to stabilize and maybe start rising again soon. So we could shift to a seller's market here pretty quick, but let's dive into exactly what is happening here in San Diego. So housing prices actually fell from $865 down to $849,000. That's down 4% from last year, and the gains that we saw over this past year have been lost. Now, condo prices actually rose $5,000 this past month, up to $590,000, overall up about 1% over on the year, but still down from the high in May of 2022. Now, inventory of homes has fallen by about 300 to 2,500 homes, and pending sales are starting to outpace new listings, and that's why the bidding wars are starting to show up on well-positioned homes, meaning stage marketed and priced correctly. Now, overall, homes are taking longer to sell, an average of 43 days on market. Now, with these homes taking longer to sell, we're seeing that is consistent with what is happening around the country. Now, this is what the data is telling us, but the data does lag behind reality. As I mentioned, we're starting to see buyer competition really start to heat up for homes. And if a home is priced really well, it's in a desirable area, it's still moving in 1 to 2 weeks, but many other homes are really taking a lot longer to sell. I actually have a listing that just went live. Now, a few months ago, if I had listed that, it might have been crickets on that home, but we made sure we deep cleaned it, we staged it, we took great HD photos and video, and we priced it under market to drive interest. Now, again, it just went live today. We already had 10 showings scheduled on the first day. Now, another big data point that I like to look at is the final sales to list price percentage. This tells us how much above or below the list price that homes on average sold for. Last month, homes sold for 95.6%. That means that overall prices had to drop by 4.4% in order to get the homes sold. So what this shows us is that sellers are still overpricing their homes. Now, during the pandemic, we were seeing average sales to list prices usually from 101 to 107%. Now, 98% is actually considered a balanced market. So anything below that shows that we're in a buyer's market. Above that, we're in a seller's market. So right now, you can see that we are in a buyer's market, but we are starting to trend back up a little bit. So what does this mean if you're thinking about buying a home? Well, if you are thinking about buying, there's still a window to get credits and maybe price reductions, though I'd focus more on the credits. Now that window really is starting to close in on most markets, and I would expect about another 2 to 4 months of this before we shift back more into a seller's market. Now inventory is remaining extremely low, and pent-up demand really starts to get unleashed in the spring and summer in normal. Right now, home shoppers can really shop around and find the house that they want. Now, why is that? Well, if you're looking to buy a home, you have 1, higher inventory levels than a year ago, giving you more options to choose from. 2, lower competition from other buyers, although as mentioned, we're seeing increased competition again. 3, opportunity to get seller credits to cover closing costs and buy down your interest rates. And 4, being able to buy a home at 10 to 15% off of where prices were 6 to 9 months ago. Now, the downside, of course, is that interest rates are high, but those should be able to get refinanced out in the next 6 to 12 months. So what it could throw a monkey wrench into all this is the number of tech layoffs that we've been seeing lately. If that continues to impact the overall economy, then that could cause more strain. Now, interest rates are still down around the 6.5% range, which is down from the high we saw a few months ago, and that's in line with what I've been saying about interest rates going down. So we'll see how inflation does. If inflation continues to fall, I would expect to see interest rates start to get back in the 5% range. That's going to really help out those millennial buyers entering the market, and I would expect that we may see a bit of a spike in home prices again. So we'll just have to see where all this takes us, but those right now are my predictions on what this means if you're buying. Now, if you are planning to sell a home in the next few months, what do? Well, despite the shifting winds in the housing market, with more buying activity picking up, it's still very important to price your home ahead of the market. And that means lower than you would like to. This is going to drive more interest for your home online, and this will in turn result in more showings and more offers. Now, the goal is to get at least 2 or more offers, which will then allow you to drive your sales price up higher. But even if you do end up with multiple offers, still be prepared to give credits to buyers to help buy down the interest rates to make that home more affordable. Buyers need those interest rate buy downs to be able to purchase right now. It's also more important than ever to make sure your home is properly prepared to sell. This can include things like painting the exterior or the interior to brighten up the home, giving it a more neutral color, pressure washing, replacing carpets or carpet cleaning. Now, if you are wanting to get an idea of what your home may sell for and what it should be priced at, just go ahead and contact me and I'll run a no obligation home value for you. And that's a complete overview of the housing market here in San Diego. Leave me a comment or email me back and let me know what you thought, and I'll see you on the next video.